Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Hey, Mama Bees, my moderator, thank you so much for being here. So glad to see you and happy Friday to you. And thanks for letting me know that you can hear me. Okay, so we are going to just chat up a little bit to give more people the chance to come in here. And today, I need at least 5 players so that I can decide if my subscribers and my audience is really feeling the trivia. So today, if we don't get at least 5 players, we will move on to some other activities or commentary. Okay. So while we wait on other people to show up, because everybody coming to the live and I don't have a lot of time, so we have to go ahead and move along. And hopefully they'll come in enough time. But if not, we will just gossip on this live. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is an update on Dr. Heavenly's son. So, as you all, I'm sure, have probably already heard, yesterday, Lakeisha Keisha, shout out to her for keeping us informed on all of this tea for Dr. Heavenly's son, Damon Jr. Okay. So shout out to her. And if you're not already following Lakeisha Keisha, make sure that you go over there and follow her for all of the updates on his case because I believe he has a case coming up and we are definitely going to stay updated on that. Okay. So yes, yesterday she dropped his mugshot and she also gave the backstory of how he landed himself in this situation. So basically what she shared was that he got into an altercation, and I'm not even going to call it an altercation because he came up behind somebody and hit them in the head from the back, so it was just like he stole this person and hit them in the head from the back and then proceeded to hit him multiple times, and then from the back he also put him in a chokehold. Okay. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Sharon Gottbalt, thank you so much for being here. So then people started to notice that there was an altercation going on, so they proceeded to stop the fight. Okay, so they broke it up. So then at some point, the police arrived and they wanted to speak to Damon Jr. So he was, by this time he was already in his car. So the police officer stood in front of his car with his hands up to get him to stop so that he can, question him about the altercation. So Damon Jr. did not stop. So he then pulled out his weapon, and that was the only way that he got Damon Jr. to stop the car. Okay. So that is a very serious allegation. And again, we don't know all of the details, but we do know that somebody had to take a break. And so now, and a lot of times, even if the person does not want to press charges, which I'm sure he probably did, the state will pick up that case. So they are moving forward. He's being indicted for these charges, um, battery, and then he has a felony charge as well. So that's the latest on Dr. Heavenly's son. And so now she has to backtrack everything that she's already said because remember, I can't think of his name, but immediately after the news broke, she went on this gentleman's platform and she said that it was false information. She lied to us in our face. Okay. So then after that, you know, the receipts just kept coming. So then she went on Carlos King's platform and she said that she found out that it did happen, and she tried to, make it seem like that when she heard about it, it was said that it happened in 2025. That was never said. And I'm pretty sure she seen everybody talking about her son's court case. And every single time, everybody always said that it happened on February 23rd in 2023. So when he was indicted, that's where the, 2025 came up. So the same story was out the entire time. Oh, it's Cece's birthday. Wow. Happy birthday, Cece. Shout out to Cece. She is celebrating her birthday on today. And it's Friday, girl. Do you have any plans, Cece? Okay. So then she went on not Doctor, she went on Carlos King's platform and said that, oh, well, I talked to my husband and he said that, he took care of it. And that's why she loved him so much because he knew that she would be so upset. So he did it and didn't tell her and he took care of it. So right after she tried to backtrack and say that it did happen, but her husband took care of it, then that's when the mugshot dropped. So we haven't heard anything yet. So, you know, more than likely she's going to come back out and she's going to have to tell more lies to cover up the lies that she's already told. Okay. Which is what she does all the time. And I don't know if you guys seen it, but I dropped lots of at least 8 or 9 shorts today because I wanted to remind you guys of things that Dr. Heavenly has done to other people and the lies that she has told, you know, but when it comes to her and what's going on in her marriage, in her family, she wants to cover all of that up, but she wants to spread things about other people's families. So that's why everybody is going so hard on her and they're putting this story out there, and I don't blame them, okay? Because what's right is right. And in one of the shorts, that I posted, she said that Mariah lies with conviction. Okay. And that's exactly what she does. She makes her lies seem so believable because you're thinking to yourself, I know this lady is not sitting up here lying to our face, so her lies are so convincing that if we did not have the receipts and the paperwork in black and white, then we will probably believe her. Okay. So I'm so glad that Lakeisha, when she put this story out there, she had the receipts because Dr. Heavenly would have lied to the end. Okay. And she never said that her son was currently in jail. She said it happened in 2023. She did not say that he was in jail. So Dr. Heavenly came up with this whole lie to make it seem like, oh, well, both of my sons are good. They're not in jail, bless our family or whatever she said. Thank God or whatever. But I mean, this lady, she is a real piece of work. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. And also, guys, what do you guys think about all of the drama that is surrounding the Brit Edie, um, what's her name, Ming Lee, and Kenya? Because this situation is getting really, really messy because Kenya is losing all of her friends. Okay. And I don't like that for her. I don't like what she did, but by her coming out and speaking or whatever the case may be, it's not good. And Sharon says, I'm loving this. Heavenly deserves this karma. I can't wait until they find her sister, and they will. Yes, I'm waiting on that myself because um, I also dropped a short on that because Heavenly posted a picture of her sister, and she also called her sister Denise, I want to say allegedly, when she made that phone call on the show. But then she followed up last January and posted a very, very blurry picture of her sister. And then she called her Cheryl. Like, which one is it, Dr. Heavenly? I believe you did that to throw people off so that they would not locate your sister because you know that people are looking for your sister so that they can ask her some questions and possibly do an interview with your sister. And you don't want people to find your sister because, Dr. Heavenly, to be quite honest, I think you have a lot of secrets that you're trying to hide. I don't think that you're just hiding this secret about your son. I think there are many more secrets, like allegedly the infidelities of your husband and some things that are going on within your family and your sister. So I think you have a lot to hide. You were so glad that you almost made it to the end of this season and the reunion without this situation with your son coming out. You almost made it, but it didn't happen. So we're going to talk about it. Whether the show is on or not, we're still going to talk about this situation because you told a bold-faced lie and you should have just came out and told the truth. People can really respect the truth. Okay. And Sharon says that she agrees. Okay. Guys, put a one in the chat. We're at almost 15 minutes and I don't feel like we have enough people to do the um trivia. I was really looking forward to because and I'm glad that Cece is here because she makes trivia so fun. But what I think I'm going to do instead, well, put a one in the chat, guys, if you want to play trivia. I'm okay with playing with just you ladies because I'm pretty sure some people are going to show up, but you guys get a head start. So I'm going to let you guys make the decision whether or not you want to play trivia. Put a one in the chat if you guys would like to get started with the trivia. I'm okay either way, guys. And while you guys get that in the chat, what did you guys think when you heard that Tony Braxton had married Birdman? Like, understand why Tony tries to be so secretive. If this is your man, your husband, like, I think that you would be happy to let the world know that you got married. Like, what's the big secret? Like, I don't even know why he would want to marry somebody who wants to keep him a secret. I can understand if you're dating and you haven't made a decision to go public, to let everybody know that you're dating. But once you're married, I don't think that should be a secret. That is really weird. And that's why I feel like this family has a lot of issues that they need to resolve because that is crazy. And Mama B says, has anyone checked on Courtney since her surgery? Mama B's, I didn't even know that Courtney had surgery. So, yeah, because on weekends, I don't really do nights and weekends. Sometimes I pop in just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but a lot of times I'm out and about on the weekends. This past weekend, I actually went and got a nice deep tissue massage on Saturday and also went out for lunch. And Sharon says, this family has too many problems. They do. They do. And I really think that they need to just cancel their show. Like, I don't think you need to be out here putting this stuff out into the universe if you're not willing to do the work. Like, don't be out here being a bad example. especially when initially your show was called Braxton Family Values because it's looking like you have no values. And Mama B says, I chatted with her on Wednesday and she said it went well. Okay, that's awesome. And I do remember her saying that she had a procedure coming up that, she was going to the doctor to make sure everything was good for a procedure. But that was the last I heard of it. So I'm glad that all went well with the surgery. And did she say how much downtime it would be, Mama Bees? Okay. So nobody has put in the chat that they want to play trivia. So instead of that, I will Cece, do I have your cash out? I'm pretty sure I should because I will just send what I would have paid out for the trivia. I will send that to your cash app. And Sharon said, who hides their husband? That's sad. My point exactly, Sharon. That's just so ridiculous. Like, their family is just made up of lies and secrets, almost like Dr. Heavenly. Like, you can't believe anything they say. They're always keeping secrets. And I just don't think that they have good morals and values. About 2 weeks. Okay, that's not too bad. And Cece said, I think so. Goodness, that's so nice of you. No problem, CC. You know you are a fave. But what I'm going to do right now is just double check to make sure that I have it. Yes, I do have it, CC. So, yes, whenever I get off the line, I'll need some time because I'll be trying to clock back in to get back to work. But yes, I will definitely send that to you. And happy birthday to you. And I hope you have a great weekend celebrating your birthday. Okay, and Cece said that she'll send Courtney a DM to check in with her. Yes. And there's a lot of stuff that's floating around about the Braxtons out there on social media. Like, I think it's an old video, but a video surfaced of how, Tony said, you're so very welcome, that she had to pretty much take care of her own family and that Tamar was the only one that helped out. And the thing about it is, especially when it comes to Tawanda has always had a man. So I don't understand why you had to depend so heavily on your sister. Like, I don't get that. Okay. And I think that she stayed in that marriage way too long with her ex-husband who did not have a job. Like, girl, like to be with a man who is not helping you to take care of your kids. Like, you should have let that go a long time ago. I think you stayed just because you thought you had a babysitter, but your kids was even big at that point. Like, you didn't need what do they call them? When the dad's the nanny. Like, you didn't need a daddy daycare. Like, you just didn't need that because, your mom was there wherever you was at. I guess in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So you should have let that man go. Okay. You stayed way too long. And Cece said, the Braxtons are so toxic. The only one I cared for was Tracy. Yes, Tracy was my fave. But now, since this stuff came out about Ashley, I kind of feel I kind of started thinking I wonder what Tracy thought about all of this that was going on with her brother. Like, I wonder was she one of the ones that tried to come to his house and talk to his wife and he told her, "Wait a minute, this is her house too." I guarantee, or at least I hope that Tracy was the aunt because she's very protective. She really was close with her other niece that passed away. So I believe she was probably one of the aunties that tried to, you know, intervene and find out what was going on with her nieces. And Sharon says, in my opinion, the family uses Tamar and Tony. They do. Like, they're always having financial issues and they're always asking their family for money. But at the same time, they always have a man. Like, you know, Trina and Tawanda go from one man to the next. So it's very rare for them to be single. And you can't have a man around and still ask your family for money. That's a big no no. So I'm just saying. And Cece said it probably was Tracy. Exactly. Now, I understand that, you're going to have, even in marriage, you have financial issues or whatever. That's why I stated she stayed way too long. Yes, support your man, give him the opportunity to find another job. But if that's not happening, because it was like her ex husband just gave up on life, like he wasn't even trying. And then she started just putting him down. So I'm sure at that point, you know, he lost his confidence. And that's another thing you can't do. If you're not going to support him and build him up, just let him go so he can move on and he can find somebody that will. And Sharon said Tracy was the best. She absolutely was. I just feel so bad that she ended up getting pregnant and, that's when they told, she wasn't able to go on tour with the sisters and ultimately that's when everything started to crumble. I think if they could have stayed together as a group, if that hadn't have happened, we would have probably continued to see the Braxton sisters. But as a whole, the Braxton sisters kind of fell off, and it was just pretty much Tony, and then later on, there was Tamar. So, yeah, that family is really sad. And I mean, honestly, I could see why she would be embarrassed to announce that Birdman was her husband because, first of all, he's dated so many people in the industry. So it's like you were settling from the beginning, okay? Nothing against Keisha Cole, but he dated Keisha Cole and several other women in the industry. And not only that, he kisses men in the mouth. Okay? Like, why would you want to marry a man that does that? Because he clearly has some type of underlying situation going on where he's on the DL. I mean, it's just weird. Yes, Birdman is yucky. And on top of that, I look at Tony like she's so beautiful, she's so classy, she's so elegant. And then I look at Birdman and I see a hot mess. All of those tattoos on his face. Like, why would you want to be seen in public with him? Like, girl, I hate to say it because, most of us in this chat right now, we're older women, but he should have been a booty call. You know what I'm saying? He's not the type that you marry, you know? I mean, I was shocked. Even when she said that she lost the ring, which I don't know if I think maybe they filed an insurance claim on the ring, but even the fact that she came out, that whole story was shady, So it's just like when you get with shady people, you start doing shady things, okay? Because I cannot see that woman losing $1 million ring. If I had $1 million ring on my finger, I would be looking at it every minute. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would know where it is at all times. Now, especially if I'm getting on a plane, okay? But I'm going to share this story because if she maybe misplaced the ring in her house, I can somewhat understand that. But you're on a flight and you say that you put it in your bag. Who does that? You would want that on your finger so you can continue to watch it. everybody knows that they go through bags, they steal stuff. So that lie was not believable. And Sharon said Birdman definitely flew around a lot. Yes, he did. But when I mentioned about the ring, it quickly brought me back to a situation that I personally had myself. I went to Alabama to visit a family member, and you usually don't like to lotion your hands when you have your ring on because it makes it look dull. So I did take my ring off at my family member's house in Alabama to lotion up my hands, and I left my ring on her dresser. But before I could even leave, because we were getting ready to leave and go back home, it was a road trip, my cousin came out with the ring. And when I tell you, I could have hugged her neck, and not saying that she wouldn't have given me back my ring, but, you know, I was just so happy that, I got my ring back. She didn't have to mail it to me or anything like that. So, that's why I said if she would have lost it in her home, I can kind of see that. But on a plane, no, I don't believe it. And Cece said, Tony should be able to pull better. However, with her toxic family, maybe not. She knows where that ring is. I think they ended up filing a claim because some people, they insure their valuables, and, she probably, made a claim on it. Um, but the other thing I wanted to speak on is the fact that Ming Lee admitted that she still has pictures of Britt Edie in her phone. Like, why? Like, are you planning revenge at a later time? So it's really looking like she was the private investigator, and she was the one that gave Kenya those photos of Britt Edie. And I also want to ask you guys this. When Portia made that statement that there's still somebody on the Housewives that gave Kenya those photos, do you guys think that's true? Because everybody else seems to feel like it was Ming Lee that gave her the photos. What do you guys think? Because it's kind of confusing. And maybe Portia is trying to throw everybody off of Ming Lee. And maybe even Portia and Kenya are working together. Something just is not adding up. Something is not adding up because honestly, if Portia was any friend to Kenya, she would not be speaking on that situation. Granted, Kenya was wrong, but friends are supposed to, if you're not going to be neutral, you need to stay out of it, and definitely, not speaking on me when you're supposed to be my friend. So something about this whole situation is weird. I think Portia might be trying to, you know, um, deflect and, kind of get people away from thinking that it was Ming Lee when we all feel like that it was Ming Lee. What do you guys think about that? So this whole situation is starting to be really weird. And I know you guys heard that Britt Edie was paid off. So Britt Edie was paid off for this whole situation. And that kind of made me a little annoyed because why does she get to be paid off and Kenya lost her job? If anything, being that she got to stay on the show, I don't feel like she should have been paid off. You can't have both. And, Kenya suffered all of the consequences. And Cece said, are all the ladies friends with me except Britt? That's what it's starting to look like because I also seen Shamia liked the picture that Ming Lee posted of Kenya and the other friend that was sitting with Ming Lee. And Mama B says they all are messy as heck. Yes. And Sharon said it's a possibility Portia should keep quiet. Exactly, because now her and Kenya are going at it. But let me tell you what I think, guys. I feel like that Bravo and production told these ladies to start these YouTube channels because the ratings are so low. I think they wanted them to start these YouTube channels to get the ratings up. That's just my opinion. I feel like it all had to do with ratings. Like YouTube has been around so long. Why all of a sudden, now that those low ratings came out, everybody and their mama are creating YouTube channels? It's just weird. And Cece said the ladies are being weird. I wonder if production or Bravo are guiding Portia and Britt. That's what I feel like. I feel like that they're all on the same page when it comes to everything. And it's just very strange that Portia would throw one of the current housewives under the bus by saying that somebody who is still on the show, she was very specific about it, is the one that sent those photos to Kenya. That is very shady because when we watch the show, there's only one person that Portia has a problem with, and that's Drew. So it's really making a lot of people feel like it's either Drew or Angela because her and Angela, they don't have a problem, but they have had some words because Portia said that she had some tea on Angela's husband. So, and I think she only did that to cause friction because in reality tea, you have to have a certain amount of shade. So everything can't be all peachy cream. Everybody can't be getting along. So it's like they have to make enemies. She had no reason to make an enemy with Angela, but speaking on somebody's husband's infidelity, that's a big no-no, especially with Portia's history. And Sharon said, seems to me like Britt was rewarded and Kenya was punished. I agree. And that's why I said that it seems like Bravo already had a problem with Kenya before all of this happened. Like they already wanted to get rid of Kenya. And, you know, Kenya can come off like she thinks she's better than people. So I think that, you know, for most people, Kenya isn't very likable. I feel like the only people that like Kenya is Team Troll. She doesn't come off as likable. She just comes off mean spirited. And personally, I don't like Kenya's personality, to be honest. And let me tell you what really I feel like really set Britt Edie off, and I would feel the same. She used that same word that Martel Hope used, which is very low, a peasant. Like when you really want to, you know, really get up under somebody's skin, use the word peasant. Like that word is very degrading. However, we're all on the same show. We all have a peach. So, what makes you feel like I'm a peasant and you're better than me? Like, she knew exactly what she was doing. And then when she was in the car and she was saying that Britt had to go, to me, that was premeditation because you already had it in your head that she needed to go. And I'm pretty sure it was because your friend Ming Lee didn't like her. So you already had it in your head that you wanted her up out of there. And that's why you got your karma because you were the one that had to go. And just even now, do anybody remember how that seating arrangement went down? Because again, the fact that Angela was the one that wrote on that paper the question that Britt Edie asked Kenya, she was being very messy. And I feel like she sat them two next to each other because she wanted more conflict between Kenya and Britt Edie. I could be wrong. Does anybody remember how the seating chart played out? Did everybody just show up and sit wherever they want? I'm pretty sure behind the scenes they had a seating arrangement. And Sharon says, this looks like another CK production. It does. And Cece said, Sharon, it does seem like some CK mess. And Mama B says, Kenya was making too much money and they had to pay Miss Portia. I get it because I feel like they wanted to get rid of Candy and Kenya because they were the two highest paid so that they can open up the door for other ladies on the show. Because not only were they getting paid all of this money, the show was still boring. Like, why pay them all of that money and the show is still boring? That makes absolutely no sense. So, honestly, I believe that they wanted both of those ladies to go so that, they could pay somebody else. So, and somebody made a really good point. Everybody's in no shade towards Candy because I don't have a problem with Candy. I actually like Candy. But somebody made a good point. I can't remember. Oh, I think it was King of Reeds. Shout out to him. Everybody's always talking about how Candy has all of this money, all of these businesses, or whatever the case may be. And then after she no longer has her peach, two of her restaurants get shut down. So basically, what he was saying was Candy needed the Real Housewives of Atlanta to promote those businesses and maintain those businesses because the only people that really go to Candy's restaurants are tourists. Okay. People in Atlanta don't eat at her restaurants because, first of all, they say that the food isn't consistent, it's not good, and it's too expensive. Then you got to Valley Park. Okay. So the people there don't eat there. It's only people who like Candy who come in town who are kind of like, you know, um, the same word I just used. They're tourists, and those are the only people that really go and eat at her restaurant. And Cece said, Mama Bees, I agree. Kenya gave Bravo the reason to get rid of her high pay for Portia and Phaedra. So, do you guys think that they was already thinking about bringing, oh, it was going to happen simultaneously. They were going to get rid of Candy and bring Phaedra back. So, yeah, they could have already had plans to do that. That's a good point. They probably already had plans to get rid of Candy and bring Phaedra back. And they were just looking for a reason to get rid of Kenya. And she gave them one, unfortunately. Sad for her. So, guys, that's going to be the end of this live. Today, I was going to do the, um, what is it called? The decades of trivia, because what I also know about my subscribers and my audience is their ages range, well, not all, but the most people that watch my videos, their age ranges are from 45 to 55. So around, I'm 54, I'll be 55. So I think the decades of trivia is a better fit for my audience. So that's what I was going to play today. Um, but being that we didn't get a lot of people to come in today, I'm thinking that trivia ain't it. So we'll look into some other options. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate you guys. And I'm going to end this live right here. So if you have not done so already, please like the video. And I will get happy birthday, CC. And I will be sending you a little cash app for your birthday. And Mama B says, enjoy your weekend, ladies. And Sharon says, enjoy your weekend. And you ladies do the same. Thanks again for watching and have a great weekend, guys. Bye for now.